Well, good Wednesday afternoon, everybody. Just wanted to come on this live stream and give you an updated forecast for the rest of this afternoon going into the evening hours and the next 8 days as well. So this is a current look at our live IMAX 12. We got a few tiny little showers and maybe a thunderstorm or two starting to pop up, moving into closer to the metro area. A little bit of stronger storms right over the reservoir right now, lightning strike here and there. But right now we are tracking these really strong storms way farther out to our northeast. And as you can see, we do now have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. This is for Leake, Madison, and Scott County until about 1:15. The main factors here is going to be some really strong wind gusts that could get up to around 60 miles per hour. And there is going to be the possibility of some, let's say, quarter-sized hail as well. So make sure to keep that in mind, especially if you're in this area. And this storm is moving its way slowly south. So just keep an eye out on the radar when it comes to this afternoon, and especially going into this evening. Here in the metro, can't see the rain just quite yet, but we know it's right around this camera somewhere. Temperatures are falling down, or they're still warm actually, however, about 93 degrees and feeling like 104. It feels like temperatures still just because of that dew point level being in the mid-70s. So we did expect temperatures today to rise up into the mid, even some of us into the upper 90s for this afternoon. So they did put extreme heat warnings and advisories in effect again for today until about 8 p.m. But we have those storms rolling into the area. Once those storms move in, they will start to help you really cool down out there. And when it comes to today, we actually did have a marginal risk, a level 1 out of 5. And the main reason why is because we were worried about these stronger wind gusts. We had some strong winds last night associated with some storms farther out into our Delta counties that did cause some storm damage. So the timeline's looking basically right now until about 9 p.m. this evening. Once we get past 9 o'clock, there'll still be lingering showers. However, that severe threat's really going to start to diminish, so that'll be the one nice thing. So we'll track it out. 1 o'clock. This is our HER model. It has it in the correct place right now. Just a little underwhelming when it comes to how actually strong these storms are really starting to develop. So these will keep on pushing their way closer towards the area. So around 3 o'clock, still seeing these storms affect central or north Mississippi, pushing their way a little bit farther down south until we get into the evening hours around 6 p.m. And then once we get to the overnight, let's say about 10 o'clock, that's where we're going to see lingering showers here and there affecting us. And these are going to stick around for our overnight hours. And as we're waking up on our Thursday, a few of us could see a few showers as you're heading out the door, especially a little bit farther out to our northeast. But then for tomorrow afternoon, it does look like we have the chance of rain again. However, not as good coverage compared to what we're going to see today. I think our southern counties are going to have the best coverage of rain. Hey, that doesn't mean we can't see an isolated shower or thunderstorm rolling closer along that I-20 corridor. But overall, the best coverage really going to affect our southern counties for tomorrow, especially, let's say, in the late afternoon into those evening hours. Then we get to the overnight, and past midnight on your Thursday night, we should begin to dry out again. We'll have a dry start to your Friday. So take a look at our rain chances. Best overall coverage is going to come today with a 50% chance, a 30% chance when it comes to your Thursday. Better rain chances farther south for Thursday, but then only a low 20% chance your Friday going into this weekend. So we are going to see these temperatures start to trend their way downwards. We have a frontal system passing over us today. Main reason why we're starting to see a lot of these storms start to fire off, and especially with them moving their way south as well. But it's not going to give us a big cool down. It's just going to be a cooler temperature. So Thursday and Friday, we are seeing morning lows and high temperatures closer to our average. So that'll be nice. We won't be way above it like we started off this week. But then we're going to see a slight warming trend going into your Sunday with a high temperature about 95 degrees. But then we have a secondary front that models are showing, and this one could give us a really big cool down, and honestly just a little early taste of fall as well. As you can see, by the time we get to your Wednesday of next week and going throughout the rest of that week, you can see temperatures just in the upper 80s, so that'll feel a lot better. And morning lows right now are looking like they're starting off in the upper 60s, so hopefully these models are correct with what's going to happen, because hey, I know I'm sick of the heat, and it would be really nice just to be able to walk outside and feel a lot more comfortable. I do want to show you our humidity tracker. This is going to be our Sunday, and honestly, dew points aren't looking too bad. They're in the 60s, but with that secondary front that as it pushes on in, look right behind it. A lot drier of air moving into our area with dew points dropping down into that 50-degree margin. So just a lot more comfortable as you're going to be stepping out the door for next week, and especially by our midweek. It's just going to feel a lot better overall. And that's the one nice thing with that secondary front pushing on in. So hopefully this all comes to truth, and we see those cooler temperatures for next week and a little early taste of fall as well. Now we're going to switch things up because, of course, it's August. We got tropics still going on. We're still looking at Aaron right now as a Category 2. Weaker, but they do expect it to become a little bit more organized when it comes to this evening or by your early Thursday. Upgrading again to a Category 3 hurricane, but luckily staying off the coast. It's going to keep on curving its way, and as it moves its way farther out to the northeast into the Atlantic, it's just going to keep on weakening, and by this weekend, we'll see it start to diminish as well. So there's Aaron, and of course, right behind it, two more tropical waves we're watching. We got this one moving its way closer to the Leeward Islands right now, southwestern part of the Atlantic, with a 60% chance of development through the next 7 days. But you can see that bubble. They do expect it to actually start curving a little bit earlier compared to what Aaron did because of that Bermuda high as well. But then we have the secondary tropical wave that moved its way off the coast of Africa, and this one has a 40% chance of development through the next 7 days. So we're going to have to keep an eye on both these systems and see what they do. Of course, it is August, and it's just that time of the year where we just have to keep an eye on these sort of things. So recapping your 8-day forecast for today, hot and humid, but then we have those storms rolling on in, extreme heat warnings and advisories in effect until about 8 p.m. this evening. Along with that marginal risk, level 1 out of 5, so strong wind gusts are definitely going to be possible with these storms. That's why we already have that severe thunderstorm warning going on for this afternoon. Then we're going to feel closer to our average for our Thursday and Friday, slightly warming up by our Sunday, but then a secondary front comes on through. That should help really just drop those temperatures and lower our humidity rate as well. So I hope everybody has a good rest of their Wednesday, midway through the week, almost closer to this weekend, and of course, just have a good one, everybody.